Hi, good morning, everyone. So today we are going to talk about Angular form. So there are two types of form which Angular, provides you: reactive form and template-driven form. So we are going to talk about, reactive form. So if you see, since our previous videos, I have been showing you this particular form. So this form is for, adding some product into the your warehouse on your website. So you just go to create form, and if you select this, so you are getting this kind of, messages. So let's talk about how you are getting this message. So if you see how we can create Angular reactive form. So you have to import Angular forms, and then you have to import these three classes: validators, forms group, and form builder. So form builder is going to be a dependency for your component, where you have to create the form. So you can just name what I have just given register form name, whatever name I just want to keep to this form. So form group and register form. So this register form is being initialized on ng init. So if you see on this ng on init, you can see this ng form group, and this is taking n number of uh, form controls, and these form controls are directly binded on the forms HTML form. So if you see this form group, register form, on ng submit, on submit, it is going to call this particular function. So if you will go, this function is going to be called when the form will be submitted. So I have written all the code, piece of code pre-handed, so that it would be very easy for you, and this video is going to be very crisp and short for you, so that you can get more insight. So there are three type on HTML. You have one form control property, which is assigned to form control of the your form. So form control name takes the form control property. So if you see, this product is type of form control. And in error message is going to be, so if you see, how am I showing the error? The Because I'm just I have formed this f. So this f is a particular property. If you see on the product, so if you see f, so this get property will returns the controls, uh, you know um, controls of that particular form. So, and as it is returning the control, so control has many properties. So this control product name has got one property error. So if there is error while submitting, so basically if you see, I had applied submit and this error. So once the user submit the form, it means when user submit this form, this error message should appear. So this is the logic what I have applied, and in the bottom I have shown error message. So let's go back to the TypeScript, and if you see, this is how you can create your reactive form. And after creating that, you can just get the control. And yeah, and after that, after submitting the form, I'm calling this function. So this form has validators. If you see, this validator class has many functions and properties. So how you can, if you have to apply multiple validation on single control, you can use compose. So compose, you can just see the compose. Let me write a piece of code for you, so that you can see how you can apply the validators. So validators, and compose, and this takes array of the controls dot required. You can call any validators, and if you see closely, what are the validators available on this validator class? So compose, email, max, main length, nullable, patterns. So a number of methods are there which you can use. You can just pass your whatever pattern you want to pass, that will be matched, and then it will be used at the real time. So this is how you can put the validation on form. And if you want to see, so form has basically three property which is for the validation purpose used. So I'll just uncomment this. Control k u, you can press on your keyboard, and it is going to uncomment. So if you see touch, dirty, and invalid, so how you we can make use of that? So we can just comment this, go back to form, and this is product. We are going to apply that property on this particular product name. So let's go back to our HTML page, and if you see, if I'll take my mouse here and I'll take my mouse out of this control, so nothing is going to happen. So we can just make use of we have to remove submit, and we can just use touched, or you can just pass like this. So control touched or dirty. Basically, if you have another validator outside of this uh, brackets, then you can only apply this. Otherwise, it's safe for you. F dot product name dot um, dirty. It is saying okay, we are missing something. Fine. So you have applied touched and dirty, or you can also supply one other validators property. You can use invalid. So in these possible scenarios, whenever user try to hover his mouse, basically we have to remove this invalid, because it is going to be always true, because initially the value is not set on the form. So touched and dirty. So when they refresh the page, now see, on this on these controls I do not have applied any validators like touch and dirty. But when I have applied validators on form product name, if I'll take my mouse and I'll click on that, so this form has got focus, and I will take this mouse out, so it means it is going to be touched. So now you can see how the error message is going to be appear. So this is how these properties you can use. And if you want to use for the showing error message, this is the way: submit form f product name errors, and then you can error required, then this. So this form control has many property which you can access and you can use. So now let's quickly access how you can patch if you are coming across that if you have to patch one value, or entire value of the form. So there are mechanism called get and set functions. So this dot register form dot get, and you can supply the name, and then you can set the value. Set validators, you can also at runtime you can set validators dynamically. You can use this function and you can pass the validators. But as of now I can set the value I just want to set, and the value is going to be empty string, and you can just supply the form control name. So it is going to update the value. After updating the value, it's required for you as a developer to call this update validity and value and validity. This will keep your form in sync. So this is how you can update single one. And if you have to update or patch multiple value on the form, so you can just use register form dot patch value, and you can pass as a object into it of the entire uh, form controls storage 128. And you can use weight, whatever you want to give the value. If you want to use processor or image, that also you can at the same time you can update entire value. So this is how you are going to use form patch and update value dynamically. So this is I shown you how you can use reactive form on Angular, how you can make use of that, how you can just use that on your uh, HTML file, how you can get the properties. So this form controls is very reactive. So now we will talk two-way data binding. So what is two-way data binding? So when the data flows from model to view and view to model uh, in asynchronous, that is called two-way data binding. So if you want to just do two-way data binding, so I'll introduce a property two-way data binding. Okay, so this is going to be of string, and I will just leave it blank. So this two-way data binding is going to be, um, bind on the form. So I'll just outside of this form, I'll just, put input, and I will type text, and I will just, assign ng model. Then I will assign this ng model to our, two-way data binding, and just I'll close this. And if you want to see how the two-way data binding is going to happen, so we can just use, this, and we can call a pipe JSON. So you will see that how the two-way data binding is going to work. So we have used two-way data binding, but this is in the bottom, and because of that you are not able to see the, let me create a input. So if you see, these are the IntelliSense which are coming by the Visual Studio Code. So let me go at the top. This is container. Okay, so I'll put inside the container, and I will keep the value blank, and I will use HR so that you can, uh, s- just create some space between your main value and all. So see, so I'm just writing here, the value is going to be updated on the form itself. So this is called two-way data binding. So you would have understood banana in a box concept from the, many developers, many, channels, and many videos, articles available online. But see how it is going to work. I am two-way two-way data binding process, data binding, which you can see. You can see whatever I'm typing, that is, dynamically updating here. So this is Angular, two-way data binding. This is, you can use two-way data binding, so that you can use in the template driven form, but this is reactive form, and it is very, secure. So that's all. We'll come up with the next video about how you can, use other components of Angular. Till then, take care, bye.